Pride was yesterday, and it was really fun. Really, really fun. I'm so grateful that that I have friends that I can do things with, and that I'm comfortable with doing things on my own too. It is so magnificent, so liberating, so fun. Like, not being held back from fear is it's so fun. It's happiness and being aware and like sharing love. Drag queen. I am the queen of drag. Where the frick? Where the freak frack of the freaking frack? Where the frick frack is my freaking attack? I don't even know where my bag is at. I don't even know where anything is at. Where's my amp? Yeah, you can do anything that you wish. Put your mind into it. Accept that it may not go the way that you want it to go, because that's only teaching you about control issues, that you need to let go of control. Because the only thing we can control is how we feel. It's what we are feeling right now. Whether we allow our minds to take over or our egos. And the expression of the ego and the mind taking over is war, is poverty, is murder, all this stuff. Do things, and I'm actively doing them, and it's making me like have friends. Like, I'm less afraid. It's great. Life is great whenever you actually live it how it's supposed to be. Or on our own individual journeys, you can't push anybody else to do anything. You can only help. That's why I'm like talking. I talk. I'm not like, you need to do this, you need to do that. I have tried so hard before. I saw 333. I tried so hard before to like do stuff to control, and it got me nowhere but pain, suffering. We don't need any of that shit, right? We don't need any of that shit. From somebody who like was very anxious to do anything, because I had to look at everything. I had to make sure that everything's fine, because I had a childhood where I had to live like that, and I brought it into my adult life, and that caused me a lot of problems, like insecurity, low self-esteem, more fear, and to the point where it wasn't fun, it wasn't pleasant to eat at a restaurant. And to be fair, it's alright. Eating at a restaurant is fine, I'd rather just eat outside in the nature with friends versus whatever, but I'm doing it because I know that it's something that I had to work on, doing things for myself. Yeah, so just do things that, if you're insecure about something, do it alone. Go do it alone. You can't get any actual validation from anybody, you can't. Nothing else affects anything else. Oh my gosh, my bags are here. I was looking for this. So, I don't know where my stuff is at. So yeah, I have something that I was like, well, I don't really have that many friends or whatever, like, but now I do, because I'm doing things for myself. I'm getting over my fear within internally, because whatever. And I have friends more than like ever, and like people that I'm seeing often, and it's really fucking cool, because I'm like, oh yeah, well, whatever, I don't think I'm capable. I'm like, I always was capable, my ego was telling me otherwise. That's why you can't listen to your ego. They're fake. Who you are is not what your mind tells you are, or what you think you perceive in the mirror. It's all that's fake. The mind's not capable of knowing truth from false, guys. The mind is not capable of knowing what's true and what is false. That's why a lot of people, and including myself before, are entrapped within their own minds. You're a slave to your own mind, to your ego. And like, just much as like anything else here on earth, like, don't condemn, because you need to know the mechanisms of why the ego and the mind do the things that they do. It's not because they hate us. They don't hate us. They're actually like protecting. They have an attachment to us. And that's because it's scientifically wise, because we aren't animal, technically we're animal. How do animals work? They're programs of like fear, of whatever, because that leads to survival practically. But then things became more of in groups, like deer, elephants, and all that, and they're more aware, because they have to worry less about survival, because they're in it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing, and it's fascinating. It is so cool. Cool to an extent, because the ego does those mechanisms because it's it's the survival side of us. Everything in this like existence works through duality, works with it, whatever. And you can see that because everything has everything has an opposite. Everything has a whatever, the moon and the sun, night and day. That's the same fucking thing. You have breathing in, breathing out. Your heart beating is going dot 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 dot. It's a mechanism of duality. However, who we are as a spirit, soul, whatever you want to call it, the thing that is beyond scientific terms, that science is probably now starting to bring into consideration, what makes life. You see it's the process of everything and mechanisms and their systems. However, what's running the system? Who are we really beyond our mind, our perceptions, our thinking, our way of feeling? Who is taking the stab? Because and who is thinking and who's feeling, who's generating this? If it's, we're more than animal. We're more consciously aware. We're more than animal, even though at the end of the day, everything's equal, okay? Everything is equal. Equality, everything is equal. If the mind is incapable of telling the difference between truth and false, how can we say that what we perceive is the truth as well? Because what we perceive, it goes through the brain, it goes through the mind, it goes through those systems. So what we see, is it really what we see? No. If everything's connected to the mind, if everything's connected for us to be able to process information and know whatever, it goes through the mind. A deer still functions, or a turtle still functions, because it has a heart, it has a brain, but it doesn't process information the same way that we do. So we can't even rely on our perception, because even that is fake. It goes through the mind. The mind does its own little things, and the ego is just filling it with the codes and systems, and the mind just and doing its own bullshit. But it's nobody's fault. There's no fault. There's no bad. There's no good, because that's just the way that it is. We're here to grow within consciousness as a collective, as our creator, whoever made all of this, just as much as who is the one who is, who is the whole thing, from the mind, the ego, and all that, at the top of that, who is the person who is witnessing the thing? That's us. But then on top of that, there's more, because we are our creator, we are the witness to our emotions, but who is witnessing us? Who created us? Whose perception or mind, or where are we at? It's all crazy. It's all crazy talk. But the more you learn, the more you see, and the more you really sit down and start to think, what is this? You will start to see that it's not just that it's so much more than we ever freaking knew. So much more. And do the thing that loves you. Do the thing that you love. And do the thing that loves you too. If somebody fucking loves you, do it. You know?